Brighton has got a real problem on its hands, and that is what to do with this mass of decaying cast iron and wood that was once a very fine pleasure pier.
And it could be once again. There are a number of schemes to bring the pier back to life as a place of entertainment and fun, and you can help make the decision what to do.
Designed by the great engineer Eugenius Birch and opened in 1866, it was considered a masterpiece of Victorian engineering and architecture. Fashionable Victorians loved to stroll along the seafront, and a pier that allowed them to walk out to sea was extremely exciting. Apart from the walk, there was a theatre and a concert hall and a whole host of other entertainments. Throughout the Edwardian era, there were countless novelties and shows at the end of the pier. It was very popular and highly profitable for a long time. On fine Sundays, some 10,000 people paid tuppence admission, and in 1875, over 600,000 visitors passed through the gates. In the 20th century, fashions gradually changed, and after World War II, the pier never regained its old popularity.
In 1975, the pier was condemned as unsafe and closed to the public, and years of neglect have left it in this sorry state.
Despite this, it's still considered a structure of national historic importance. There are about 50 piers left in Britain, but this is the only one with a Grade 1 listing. But does it really matter? It would cost £12 million to restore it, so isn't it better to just knock it down?
Tastes have changed over the years, so can piers still attract enough people to make them commercially successful?
Although promenading was very popular with the Victorians, do we still do it nowadays? Well, the people here seem to be enjoying themselves on the Palace Pier. That's the other pier in Brighton. But would they come just for the view, even if there weren't any other attractions? And would a concert hall or a theatre be as popular as all of this? One thing's for sure, time is running out. A recent survey has given the pier's substructure, that's these rusty girders and pillars that support all the buildings above, only a few years before they'll be completely destroyed by the sea. So something must be done soon.
Right, this is a real problem for the people of Brighton, and we're asking you to put yourself in their place. What should be done about this ageing building? Remember, it has a Grade 1 listing. That means it's of national importance.
It's obviously going to fall into the sea soon if something isn't done quickly. But restoring the pier could cost around £10 million, so you'll have to be sure it'll earn its keep.
Well, the West Pier Trust are the people who have to decide what to do, and they've been offered proposals from 2 architects. The first comes from Merlin organisation, who specialise in very large entertainment and shopping complexes.
Could you outline your scheme for redeveloping the West Pier?
Yes, the existing pier composed of three parts. One is the main deck area, which stretches out from the esplanade right out to the sea at the ending of the rotunda. The concert building and the theatre building, which is the main building structure at the end of the pier. The proposal is to restore what is existing and to put back into use the existing buildings and replace all the parts that are missing. In addition to that, we're proposing to build a brand new building on the shore in the style of the existing pier. The first building is going to be what is known as a festival market. This is an American concept, which is a mixture of shopping and leisure and restaurants, and it produces a very busy, happy atmosphere. The centre building, which is at the moment one large open space, will probably be used as a restaurant or shopping facility or amusements of some sort or another. At the end of the pier, we're proposing to take the existing theatre building off completely and put in a brand new layer into which we intend to put all leisure facilities. The main idea being that to attract people right out to the end of the pier in all sorts of weathers. The proposal is, of course, that this pier has to be used 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year to make it successful.
How long will this all take? How soon could the whole pier be rebuilt?
From today, if everything goes smoothly, we could be walking on the finished pier in about 3.5 years' time.
The second comes from John Burrell, a well-known social and environmental architect.
Could you outline your scheme for redeveloping the West Pier?
Essentially, the scheme involves not so much the redevelopment of the pier, but the process of adding new buildings in such a way that the existing buildings are maintained. In that way, you're not having to alter the listed building, you're simply flanking it or providing a new setting for the pier as it exists. We've proposed a piazza, effectively, at the promenade end, with buildings either side, which not only form a space around which you can have restaurants and people congregating and just using as a piazza in a normal way, but you also provide sort of a frame or a setting for the rest of the pier, which simply will continue from that space.
How would you encourage people to go to the other end of the pier?
People don't walk as they used to in Victorian times for the fun of it. We've designed a little shuttle car which will go underneath through the structure, stopping off at various buildings along the route, and then turning at the end here at the rotunda and coming back as a continuous loop.
How long will this restoration take? When will it be finished?
I think perhaps anything from 3 to 10 years probably. One would aim for about 5 years as a total project.
There are a few other things to think about. Firstly, the Merlin project has financial backing, but the contract doesn't ask them to start work for 3.5 years, and they may change their minds. Secondly, the Merlin plan changes the pier by raising the whole structure at the sea end by a complete floor, and builds a very large reproduction Victorian shopping centre at the land end. Because of this, the building loses the government funds given to listed buildings, and so absolutely no work can be done until they start spending their own money.
Now the Burrell plan. Firstly, the Burrell scheme renovates the buildings to its original state and adds modern-style buildings and features at the land end in keeping with the original design. It keeps its government grant, and repairs on the pier can start immediately, but the money only covers repairs, not its renovation. Secondly, unlike the Merlin scheme, the money has to be raised by investment from wealthy business people and rich benefactors. This could take a long time.
So that's the challenge. You have to choose one or the other, or come up with a completely different plan.